Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. I'm Dane Hennen, your host, and to my right, Levi Gates.
Thanks, Dane. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Thanks, Levi. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the podcast. This is where we talk about our weekends, other stuff, but I'm going to throw it out. I've been moving it earlier and earlier in the show. You're watching right now. I know there's not too many there right now because it's a morning podcast. It's early. But if you and anyone you know click that subscribe button so you know the next time we go live, I'd really appreciate it. We'd all really appreciate it.
What color is that subscribe button, Dane?
It is red. And
Wow.
what it says is subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it says subscribe. The second you click it, it gives it the D. It says subscribed.
So give it
and
the
that way
D.
you know. So you know what to do. I'm just waiting on you. Also, click the like button because that helps people know this is worth watching. And we'll make sure it's worth watching. But anyway, guys, housekeeping. What's up?
Housekeeping. So, Dane, thanks for asking. Last week was the start of our mystery bag sale.
Mystery bag.
Technically, our unidentified mystery bag sale.
Yeah. Ended this morning.
Yeah, it was, well, no. So it sold out.
What?
no.
Actually, so
So it didn't technically end. It just disappeared.
Yes,
It
technically.
it's like it took off.
Yes, Levi.
Like it
correct.
left this planet.
You are correct, yeah. I mean, basically, they were here for a very short time.
Wow.
They-
You really had to jump on it to get it.
They didn't like what they saw.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what, these humans are just not advanced enough. Their detailing products are just okay. You know, we have other spaceships to fry, right?
yeah.
Literally. Wow. So the sale went on Friday. Started actually Friday. I think afternoon is when it started, around noon actually, and it went on until Saturday. I would probably say Saturday afternoon is when I think it was sold out on the ragcompany.com, and then it did not go back up Sunday. So it did sell out. We wanted to make sure that there wasn't any inventory issues or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it was in fact correct. And so unfortunately, and so we were hoping to run the sale all the way through Sunday night. That was the plan. But it may have been one of the products in one of the bags, or two of the products in some of the bags that may have sold out, or something happened to where that was it, right? That was just the end of it. And so
I like to think that our friends, our unidentified friends, just they were ready to go home. They
SPM says it broke
beamed
the
up and
website.
bounced out.
I think
Did it actually break it?
I have no idea. I think what it really was is they were probably like, oh, they're using our media, they're using our marketing, right? They're using us to promote their sale.
Oh, you don't think they were excited about
we're gonna
that?
crash that.
Okay.
Yeah, could be.
You never know.
But anyways, it was still good. We're still happy. Hopefully everybody got a bag, is pumped on it. I know that it is truly a mystery indeed. So let us know what you find.
Yeah, we didn't even know what was in them half of them.
Yeah,
we
so
just kind of guessed.
Should have found out for myself, but I couldn't because it sold out. So, but yeah, so no, good weekend. I would say that this upcoming week we have a lot going on. We have more guests coming into town.
We do have a lot going on, and so we've got a guest that comes tomorrow.
Yep.
We're not going to tell you guys who it is, but Friday, we have a big day.
Yep.
IDA SV Global Kickoff happening here at the Rag Company. It's kicking off an entire week of IDA SV global testing all over the world. So go to the IDA.com, the-IDA.com, go to the SV testing phases, and you can see everywhere around the world where you can get your testing done. If you want to get SV tested, if you've been waiting, you can go find that. There's going to be a number of spots all over the world doing SV testing. So Friday, we're going to be doing testing here at the Rag Company, hosting the event. We'll have myself and famed RT Tom Smith of Buff Bride is going to be here on Friday with us as well. Sydney Gwynn of PNS is going to be here as well. She's a CDSV. Anthony Fisher, IDA CDSV himself, is going to be here. And Josh Petro, IDA CDSV. We're all going to be here testing folks that show up that want to get their SV done. So if you want to do that, make sure you go to the-IDA.com to sign up. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday.
There you go.
Then the following week, big week.
Yeah.
That is the start of our crazy week. We're going to have our friends from MTM Hydro here.
Whoa.
We're going to have our friends from G-Technic here.
Whoa.
We're going to have our friends from the Rap Institute and Avery Dennison here.
Wow.
It's kind of like a little baby version of TRC all over
It's going to
again.
be kind of crazy. And we're going to be rapping Dane's Jag on that Saturday, the 26th, from 2 to 8 p.m. So really excited to have that. Your car's going to look totally different.
So like it's an afternoon evening session.
It's an afternoon,
which is
evening-ish.
than the other time
We're gonna
we've done
hopefully
this.
it cools off a little bit by then, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fun event. We're gonna be hanging out. It's gonna be an open house. So if you don't have any plans for that Saturday, come hang out with us at the Rag Company,
be
June
at
26th.
TRC.
Not this coming Saturday, next Saturday. So
Heck yeah,
come
brother.
do that. Anthony, any other things you want to add to it?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all. I think it's going to be exciting. We're really excited to see how everything turns out next week. But I think that I think this week, hopefully we'll have, I don't know, maybe some visitors just, from out of town that want to stop by and just
That'd
say
be nice.
hi, old
Yeah,
friends.
that'd be nice. I like
And
that.
So we'll see what happens. But anyways, I think it's time to jump straight into our weekends and talk about all of the detailing that we've done. Right,
Oh
Dane?
boy, yeah.
Lots of
wearing a
detailing.
shirt like this, I'd hate to be an imposter. So
Well, why would you be, Dane? You're a detailer. So, Dane, we're going to get started with you first.
Oh.
Tell us about your weekend. You go to Express Cafe?
actually, no.
What?
This
What?
weekend, I
Broke
resisted.
tradition.
And you know what? For those who pay attention on our Facebook group, the TRC podcast discussion group, you would know I actually lost some weight this weekend. So
You
that's
did.
a good thing.
Yes.
It might have just been from the insane heat, sweating it out. But, I think that coupled with not having giant breakfast probably
Okay.
probably
Well, good on
contributed to
you.
a positive
Good on you.
outcome.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
lay it down. Friday Eve, what did you do? Friday Eve. Friday night, what did you do?
Friday
night.
Saturday Eve.
Wow, I'm totally blanking on what I did this weekend.
Well,
I
you
think
left here after not eating cheeseburger pizza.
Right. I left here. I set up some scheduling to do several things. I mean, I got my hair cut and my beard trimmed and all that
very
stuff.
nice.
But I also, I got the car set up for an appointment. The Jag, I was getting, after it was done at Big Motors, I had new control arms, ball joints, all that stuff. Nice, fresh, everything around the shocks and stuff and the suspension had been fixed up. They're fresh, they're new, but the car needed an alignment.
Yeah.
So I went in on Saturday morning and checked in with these guys, but they were booked out. But they said, hey, come in Monday. We'll shuttle you to and from
very
your
nice.
work if you like. And I'm like, right
where'd
up the
you
street.
go?
Perfect. Big O Tires, right on State Street here. The one over by the
for
little
your-
Mexican restaurant.
For your alignment?
Yes, because they're low car friendly. Other than the Point S, they're the only other place.
Yeah, why
that
didn't you go
seems
to
be-
Point S and Randy and support him?
Yeah, if I wait a month. For
You're a
my
month
chance.
out?
I don't know that for a fact, but I know he's booked heavily.
Did
so
you call?
British Italian German Motors said, we take all of our very low cars to this place. The Big O here, they have a rack that's specially set up for lower cars. They do it all the time.
Yeah, you could have gone
They're
to
good.
Les Schwab on Broadway or Buddy Wayne.
But I
Okay,
just
so everybody has
Randy
their
is
personal
just
favorites.
Randy's our guy.
And Randy is great.
Randy's a NASCAR.
Randy is
Randy is
awesome.
a former NASCAR
but
driver.
at the same time,
He has literally been doing alignments for 40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
Specializing.
Of
He's like the
alignments.
master of
so,
alignments.
for those who are interested to know, the last time I had my car done and I didn't get an alignment. My front tires were chewed through in less than like 7 months, 6-7 months.
That car eats them.
Down to the cords. Yeah. So I don't want to do that again on set of $500 tires.
Yeah,
so
Dane, you didn't even call Randy.
So
you just assumed he was busy.
You assumed he was busy, so you scheduled an appointment.
I assumed he was busy because I went to the place that the shop worked on my car recommended that they would have gone to anyway because
they
they've
would have
done
taken
this
it
several
because
times.
they would have offered. They said, "Hey, do you want us to do it, or do you want to do it?" And you said, "I'll do it."
They have taken several Aston Martins, Jaguars, and Ferraris to this place already, so it's not out of the question that I too could participate
as a Jag owner.
As a Jag owner.
Were you hoping to run into other Ferrari owners there? Or?
Oh God, no! It's on State Street. You're going to run into mostly
State Street. I used to ride my bike around their back parking lot when I was a kid.
Smoke cigarettes in the back alleyway.
There is a dope like 72 or 73, whichever one is the split bumper Camaro, second gen. Really cool out front there. Looks like it's like a what would you call it? It's like Resto Modi, sort of.
Okay.
But yeah, lowered, like big wheels. Anyway, it looked cool. So I like those. I have a soft spot for those. But anyway, that was the one cool car in the parking lot. Everything else is like, pedestrian transportation. Anyway, so they handled it and they got it done pretty fast. So also, they were calling me and telling me, okay, we're ready to pick you up. But they shuttled me to and here in a brand new Raptor. So that was fun.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was basically this morning. But anyway, I guess what you're really asking me about is on Sunday.
Well, we're just talking about your weekend.
Well, so
we're
Dane,
now into Monday,
you got all that work done on the Jag. You don't have to give us a number, but it was pretty substantial.
You also got a windshield put in, right?
Yeah, I replaced the windshield as well.
Okay.
Because it was sandblasted by the previous owner. And it had been for some time. Thank you for that, G. Davis. I appreciate that.
Oh, my God. The ladies of Meridian.
Tires, G. Tires. Okay.
There needs to be like one of those houses where there's like a bunch of like, middle-aged women that kind of like, what they had like back in the day.
Okay.
It'd be like a big
a ladies' lunch group or whatever?
Not like a ladies' lunch group, but like back
auxiliary?
back in like the when they would still dress fancy, it'd be like a whole like women's housing situation.
Okay.
Oh boy.
That's where we would send Dane.
So I got hooked on a YouTube channel on Saturday night.
Okay.
Discovered this channel called JCS-Criminal Psychology. And basically way better than watching all those like
cold cases and
annoying like
shows.
True crime, things on Discovery and stuff like Discovery ID, Investigate ID, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah.
Like those ones are always like, and next after the commercial break, we'll be touching it, and it just keeps like hyping stuff. This is just the straight stuff.
Dry and to the point.
Basically, it's like interrogation videos of like scary people. So it's really fascinating. But so I went down the rabbit hole on that channel, and it's a deep dive. And it gets pretty spooky sometimes, but at the same time, it's just so fascinating. You're just watching these with narration and stuff, like a narrator will pop in and give context to things so you understand what's going on. But yeah, just fascinating. So I enjoyed that for, Saturday night. But then Sunday came around, and I knew Sunday was going to be a hot one. I heard it was going to be triple digits. So that was going to be
a hot
that was going to be toasty. So I knew, not really looking forward to going outside. However, on Saturday night, I've been talking with Liz, and she had expressed an interest in getting herself a car at some point for next semester of school because she's going to have to physically go to the school now. It's been online for the last year, but now they're going back, and she's been borrowing my Tacoma, and that's totally fine. I was fine with it, but she feels like guilty
because she doesn't like driving the Jag.
Well, she's terrified to drive the Jag. Yeah. She doesn't want to drive it, so that's okay. She just wants a car of her own, and that's totally
previously
fine.
She had been using the C-Max, but you sold that along with another vehicle to buy the Tacoma.
Just a C-Max plus
just a
cash.
C-Max.
But the Tacoma was a replacement. Of course, that's a truck. It's not a big truck, but to her, it's a big vehicle. Yeah. So it's just that kind of psychological thing of like, we're in the corners. I'm having a hard time placing the car.
Right. She didn't want to smack it or hit it or anything and have you be mad at her.
She just would be happy with like a little egg car. Something, just a little hatchback or something. Her previous car was like, she had a Saturn SL2 or whatever for a while, so she really enjoyed that. But she drove that across the country multiple times.
Could have gotten her another one of those. There's lots of them on Facebook. She could totally handle that.
But, I was looking and I was like, you know what? I'll find you something just in case. And if I find something sooner, maybe I buy it and you just pay me back after. And we just settle this right up front. And that way it's cool. And maybe it's a fixer-upper, so it's like some opportunities. Well, I was looking at like Mazda 3s and stuff. I really like first generation Mazda 3s. I think they're good looking little cars.
Yeah,
and
they are.
just a nice, fun to drive little car, but not anything crazy. Not a speed, but just regular Mazda 3 hatch. I think they're nice. But I was looking and I found this one. I wrote to the owner on Saturday night. Didn't write me back. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's not an option. But then I also found a 2013 Hyundai Elantra GT.
Ooh,
so
GT, so it's the hatchback.
It's a hatchback. It's a little egg car.
Yeah.
So, it's basically the not fully new body style, but newer body style, the 2013s.
Yeah.
And I looked online and I was like, oh yeah, this is the year that has a reputation for some like not so great stuff. It's no wonder it's so cheap. It was listed at the dealership for like under $4,000. So I'm like, ugh. But what I thought their reasoning was because it had high miles.
It did.
Anybody around here knows I'm not afraid of high miles. I'm okay with high miles.
Dane loves high miles.
I love high miles. It just means
his-
other
he
people
loves his,
overlook stuff that
he loves
is
his
still
cars and his
really
women
good.
with high mileage.
To me,
I mean, it's just his cars.
so follow this logic. To me, a newer car with over 200,000 miles, a lot of people balk at that because they just have that
It's
stupid
that
100,000
old-
mile thing
it's
stuck
back-
in their head.
Yeah, it's the old way of thinking back in
To
the day.
me, a 200,000+ mile car that's newer gives out the vibes of, oh, somebody commuted in this. Somebody probably did a lot of highway miles in this. There's no way they did all that in the city unless they were just doing
maybe
Uber
it was
or
towed
something.
behind a
maybe.
RV.
And it could have been towed. That's also an option as well. But generally, I look at that and go, this person probably maintained it relatively well.
Yeah.
When I see like really old cars have super low miles, that kind of freaks me out because I'm like, those seals are trash. It probably hasn't heat cycled in a while, and the whole thing is going to blow up if you turn it on. That's my like mental process. So I'm more into higher miles. I know for a fact it's done this far.
Yeah.
It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
As long as it feels okay, let's take
Right.
it out for a test drive. So set all that up. At least that's my logic. I get it.
How many
Some
miles
people
did
don't
how
feel
many
that
miles
way.
did the Montero have?
Like 203.
See, and
Something
that thing
like that.
ran like a champ.
Best
No,
car
that thing
ever.
ran
That's
like
the one
garbage.
that thing ran like magic. It was
man.
almost like we didn't know why it was still
Minus
running.
that weird wig that we found in the back seat. I mean,
Wow.
it was
Oh boy!
Mixed
Wow.
with a
That car
mold.
was impressive. Dane's former fiance had her odometer flipped twice.
Oh man.
Oh man!
Interrogation
Wow.
videos of scary people's Dane's
Yes.
latest side
So,
project
great stuff.
documenting Meridian residents.
Yeah. So to me, I see this 2013 Hyundai Elantra GT listed for under $4,000, and I think
That's such a deal.
it was such a because that car, if not for the miles,
Right.
that would normally be like an $8,000 to $10,000 car.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's go look at it. It's still an economy car, so
Yeah.
you're not going to expect big bucks for it. But at the same time, let's go look. So I wrote out, and the dealership, because it was at those little dealerships, like side of the freeway kind of deals. And of course, you're like, oh boy, this could be sketchy. It's probably an auction car, whatever. And they picked it up cheap, and they're just looking to dump it.
And that's what they did.
Basically, it was an auction
okay.
car. So,
All right,
but
well.
see, I have my eyes wide open. I know this
Okay,
stuff going
yeah.
in. To me, it's just, okay, drive it and experience it. Well, the guy wrote back to me very quickly. So that was a good sign. It's like, all right, he's very responsive.
Did you drive the Jag to buy this little car?
Oh, God, no, I wouldn't show up in that. That sends the wrong message.
That would have been great.
I show up in that. The guy's like, this guy's paying full price.
But I want you dressed like you're going to a rich open house, driving that Jag to buy that little car.
All I'm saying is,
We
know
talked
your
about
audience.
$2,500, right? Like, no?
No, show up like the guy's gonna have to say before you can go for a test drive. Can I see your credit score?
Yeah.
Like, just give off that vibe. So I was just t-shirt and shorts, whatever.
Did you
it's
ride a
fine.
bike?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Showed up in the Tacoma. It was
Okay,
whatever.
all right.
But I parked far away, so.
Very nice.
Anyway,
New-
strategy
new,
aside.
New little car for my missy over here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
My little lady.
Because I talk
My
like
lady.
that.
needs a little
Howdy, partner.
car to drive around.
My Toyota
So,
Tacoma.
point was, I show up at this little dealership, and God comes out, really nice, and it's early enough in the morning, it hasn't turned scorching yet.
Right,
so that's a
yeah,
plus.
that's good.
Also, if you drive a car out in the heat, you learn some things about it too. In this case, I learned that the AC is not functioning as well as it should.
Okay.
It's kind of there, but it's weak. So either a recharge or something much worse.
Get the
lurking
AC
around the
Pro.
corner.
Hook that
So
bad boy
yeah,
up there.
so I'll be looking
Ice
into
cold.
that. But basically, I was kind of coaching her because she hadn't had a car of her own in a while. So I was coaching her through the different things to look for and all that. And she just wanted me to go under the hood and peek around and like, okay, is this damage going to affect anything? I told her, well, let's take it out for a drive and see what it actually behaves like.
Yeah.
So we go out for a drive, and it surprised me. It started up just fine. There were no weird clanks. The suspension didn't make any weird noises. I didn't hear any buzzing ball bearings. Or wheel bearings.
Yeah, ball bearings.
Yeah, ball bearings. No, wheel bearings. I didn't hear any of that normal stuff you would run into on a really janky car. So I was like, okay, it's just mostly cosmetic. It's got a yellowing headlight on one side. The paint doesn't quite match on the front bumper to the side fender, so I'm wondering if something happened there because that's also where there's a big old dent. I look up the VIN while we're driving. I'm doing like a VIN check on my phone and finding there's
You were
no
driving or was she driving?
She was driving.
Okay.
I wanted her to drive. So basically she got a sense of it. And obviously you need to figure out if she likes driving it because that's the most important thing.
Right, correct.
So I'm checking up the VIN as we're driving. It's like, okay, there's no accidents despite this thing. Maybe it was like a little, on the side, like fix it up and whatever. I suspect there may have been something like that. But at the same time, I'm also remembering this is not a car for me. All she cares about is reliable transportation to and from school and just basic, errands and stuff. That's all she wants. So I have to go in with that headspace. I can't go in with like, oh, it's not performance-y enough. It's like, who cares? So we'll just move past that and find something that truly is exactly what she's looking for. 40 miles per gallon ain't bad. So we'll take it if it works. Well, I looked up all the issues and stuff for 2013's the night before, and I was kind of checking for all the usual suspects of, things that could go wrong. This one didn't seem to have it. And what I thought was, at 210,000 miles, if something was going to happen to it, it probably would have already happened. In many cases, with the engine in particular, because there were reports of people's engines like going off after like 40 or 60,000 miles, stuff like that. It's like, okay, if that happened, that's in the rearview mirror, hopefully. But I checked to make sure all the recalls were up to date, all that stuff. I just, due diligence. And found that this car was actually pretty well taken care of. Anyway, part of the thing was looking in the interior, you're finding stains all over the place, and you're like, okay, but it's like water type stain stuff. It's nothing horrific. It just, on lighter beige fabric, it looks
it looks maybe a little worse.
And on the ceiling, I was like, oh, this is definitely like, it gave off vibes of like maybe a single mother had this with her kid sitting in the back or something, because there was like glitter on the ceiling and stuff. Like I was finding stuff and I was like, all right.
If it came with it for free, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so it
nice.
it gave off that vibe.
More for that,
Because I noticed that the driver's seat had, a decent amount of like wear and tear, but no actual tears. Just it looked worn, whereas the passenger seat looked like it almost never been sat in.
Well, Dane, if it's a Mazda, sorry, not Mazda. If it's a Hyundai GT, a Hyundai Elantra GT,
Grand Touring.
Chances are the owner probably wore bedazzled jeans. Which is going to probably attribute to all of the damage
a little rubbing
on the seat, right? From all the bedazzling.
Yeah.
And I think that the glitter on the roof there was probably her children, because at that age, if she was
it's in
a
the
mom,
back seat. It's
mom
on the ceiling.
wearing
the passenger seat held the purse.
Yeah, I'm thinking
some kid was wearing a crown or some like arts and crafts project on their head, probably
a princess, because that's what a mom wearing Ed Hardy jeans, like a rhinestone style, like buckled jean, would get for her daughter, who's probably a crown. We're trying to get into like the really deep
into the
car.
So looking at this car, though, I did find, on a pleasant note, the interior, like all of the switch gear, the door panels, everything,
all the buttons
great
work.
shape. There's
how,
no cracks,
how did it
there's no
smell?
tears.
The car probably smelled pretty good.
It didn't smell bad at all. It just smelled.
I know the person that probably
it just
sold
smelled
this car.
normal. Like yes, a used car, but there weren't any like notes of
Was there any
olfactory torture.
Was there any chapstick in the little lift area, the center console?
No, that was just in my project car.
Was there any like birch bees or anything like that?
I usually keep a couple as an Elantra owner, I keep a couple chapsticks in the little armrest thing.
Being that it was
shelf.
Being that it was an auction car picked up by this dealer, I imagine they just cleaned out whatever was in there, because there was like nothing loose sitting in the car. But no, like it's actually a good car underneath being very dirty, sitting out on that lot out in Nampa and just getting all this stuff. It's like, okay. So I coached her through it. I said, first things first, I don't care what they say. We ended up buying the car, obviously. I got a few $100 off just because I was like,
because you're a wheeler dealer.
It's an auction car, dude. I know you didn't pay that much for
it,
but I'm also not going to bust your balls about it because it's already pretty cheap. And I know what it goes for.
My name's Dane Hennen. I don't know if we know this, but I know how to buy and sell cars.
So I'm not playing hardball. But the funny part was
you were, because you got a couple $100 off. Otherwise, you would have paid full freight.
Well, the other thing that helped was the guy was like, "Oh, you can come in with a check, which on a Sunday is a little hard to do from the bank, or you can pay with card, which has a 3% charge on it, which kind of sucks.
So you got to bump that 3%.
Or you do a third approach." And this one just felt goofy.
Take it for free.
No, he's like,
leave.
So he goes, "I've been telling my customers to do this recently. You just go over to Winco and get a few Western Union
money orders. Yeah.
And they're like 48 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And you just get multiple because they do them in like amounts of 1,000. So you have to get a few of them. And they're just like, it cost me like $2.90 or something like that.
Nice.
Like all said.
So that's what you did.
So that beats 3% on a card.
So you went and bought a bunch
I
of
went and bought
money orders.
money orders.
How do you
came
buy
back.
a money order at Winco?
You go to Winco up to the customer service desk, just like
Yeah.
you go to any. You can do it at Albertsons. You can do it anywhere. And all you do is say, "I need to buy a money order for X amount of dollars," and they print it out, type it in, print it out. You run your card for the amount.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, or you pay them cash.
Up to $1,000, they're able to do it on one
money order.
One money order. But I was concerned because I'm like, this is 3 times that. This is more than 1,000. And he goes, "Okay, well, we break it into multiples of 1,000. Then the last one is just whatever it is below 1,000.
Yeah.
But because it's a little bit more, we do have to take some of your information. Now,
Yeah.
he goes, I'll tell you right now, it is, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get shared with anyone. It's just we need it for record keeping in case somebody comes by later for, we're an investigator, whatever." It's like, yeah. So, yeah, they take like your SSN and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. You're just like,
You're going to do that anyway when you
but
buy
at
a
the
car.
same
They
time,
take
it's
your
like you're
social
buying a
security
car.
number
So,
anyway.
okay, fine. So, did that. Just gave him the debit card, did that whole thing. Then went back to the dealer. And he was fine. He's just like, "Yeah, that's pretty much how it works." And he goes, "A lot better than 3%, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a little trip across the street, come back, not so
Did you
bad."
get a slice of pizza at Leonardo's
I should have.
while you were there?
But the point is, like, if you're
Winco pizza, it's so
if you're
good.
buying a cheap
Really
car
good.
and
You
it's
wanna
from
go there?
a
We go there for
dealer,
lunch today.
and it's from a dealership or something, yes, it's tempting to use the card, but you got to pay that fee. It's like, there's an easy way around that, and it's totally fine.
So, Dane, is there a picture of this car at all?
Yeah. So there's some pictures. I think Nick can pull them up here.
She's asking if Liz will be able to drive it while Dane's
Wow.
restoring the wheels. That is a bright red, Dane.
Did you up the saturation on that, Dane?
No, that's just the way the phone takes pictures. So I think it does it itself.
That is bright red.
Okay.
Thank you, G.
Look at
is-
there's Liz in it.
That's the foggy headlight, and I have some close-ups of like the headlights.
It's got a couple dents.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got your
See?
dings. You got your dents. You got your
It's not
bird
bad.
crap.
That's not bad.
It
I'd
is
rock
like a
that.
fuchsia pink from this angle.
It's really red. Just ignore the color that it looks like on screen.
Yeah,
That's
nice
the
little
bad
dent.
one. I looked online. It's like $50 to replace that quarter. And I could probably repaint it, but I could try to bring that dent out. Yeah. And there's a little missing chrome trim on the
Yeah, on the
bumper.
grill.
It's like
That's
it's
the
a
grill.
cheap car, but it's a newer car. So
But you can buy some of that stuff
yeah,
for
I looked
and fix
online.
it up.
That's the worst one. That's
That's
the
a-
dent in the character line on the car that had me going, "What happened here?"
That is
it
a
like
dent.
pretzeled.
Wow.
It's weird. But I think this is going to be a great car for, and just fix it up. And one little
Rock
chip on the windshield. That's all.
To take it through the
has.
car wash.
So what I had her do was, number one, I said, go over to the oil place, have them change all the fluids, go over to the car wash, get it washed so we know what it looks like underneath. And then this is like inside. This is,
it's not bad,
got some
but yeah,
stains.
you're right.
But really, like the buttons are fine, the steering wheel's fine. There's no broken interior parts, which kind of surprised me, honestly. But there's some clear coat fade on the handle. It's not on the car. It's just on the handle, so it's replaceable. So yeah, like I think I got a
I think you
decent
did a
car
great job,
for
Dane.
$3,400.
I will tell you right now, I would rock that.
Yeah, for $3,400.
Yeah.
So not a bad deal. Even if it was an auction car and all that stuff. I know we're talking to detailers and stuff here, so they're going to be a little bit more picky.
You could make that car really nice, and
yeah.
you guys could probably, when she's ready to get something else, you could sell that for the same amount of money. You
at
bought
least.
it for.
And that's the hope. It's like, but knowing her, she likes to hold on to her stuff for a long time, so she probably will hold on to that for.
G. Davis says, "Same car my daughter has, very reliable."
Yeah. No, thanks,
There you
G.
go.
That's true. So, yeah, that was basically my Saturday, Sunday, and then I hung out with my buddy Brandon for the rest of the day, and that was basically it. So, yeah, you get the sense that there's some stuff to work on. Oh, G. Davis says even the same year, so that's cool.
Kirby Thompson says, "Paintless dent repair. Do us a favor." and turn it into a video to help that local
Kirby Thompson,
PDR
those
technician.
videos don't get views. We had to stop making them.
There's a lot of videos we've tried to do lately that just don't click with people. They just want to see, I just want to see polishing videos. That's like all they seem to care about.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you want to see more, you got to watch them. Yeah, but that was basically the weekend. I see a lot of potential in it.
Yeah.
Just cleaning up the little bits and pieces. But I think that'll be a really nice car long term. She's going to obviously cover her insurance and all that stuff herself. And she'll just pay me back as we go, over time. And she's going to school and picks up a job when she's doing that.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Very good.
that's basically it.
Cool. Nice little weekend.
Yeah, not too shabby.
New little addition to the family.
Feels good. Yeah.
Bundle
All
of
right,
joy.
which one of you wants to go now?
Well, mine was very simple. Mine was very easy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
I
you
left
took a trip.
on Thursday night, took the family down to Utah,
Utah.
Spent the,
driving down. In what vehicle did you
cruising
choose?
down in the Camry.
Camry. Okay, making
So-
good time.
No pallets this time, right?
So here's the deal. I think I need to do the brakes on the Camry.
Oh.
I think, but it might be something else. When I was applying the brakes, front end shakes really bad.
Oh, you got the jitters.
Feels kind of like warped rotors.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably is.
yeah.
But I started hearing when I was driving yesterday. Now, mind you, I was doing 100. I started hearing a bit of a boom, 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 boom kind of noise coming from the passenger front corner.
Like rubbing? Or?
Maybe. I don't know. It was just like
Did
something
Carly
was-
hit anything?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe she won't tell me if she's like
Was it
just
like-
doing it really bad. So I
like
was like,
metal
well, I
on
probably
metal
need to
or
break.
metal on
I don't know.
plastic
I don't know.
or-
So point is, that's what I got to look forward to.
Yeah.
For that trip, I was like, ugh, this is really bad. Like, especially when you're doing 100 miles an hour and you put your foot on the brakes.
Well, when you had your whole
Starts
family
to
in the
shake a
car,
little bit,
it's
right?
weighed down a little bit.
The car's still a rocket ship.
No,
Has
I'm just saying,
problems at
like, with that
100.
weight
The
in there,
downforce
it
in
might...
it keeps
downforce.
it- keeps
It's
it-
ground- grounded to the ground, as all
Remember,
Camrys
it's a sport.
should be.
It's a sport, so it's got the sport package, SC Sport. So it's got the body kit, the lowering ground effects, all the aero that comes from the
course.
factory. So anyway, we went down, made it down to Utah, headed down to my sister-in-law's, got there about 11 o'clock Thursday night. Spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just kind of chilling out. They have a pool in their backyard, so we literally just posted up at the pool and hung out.
That's
I
a
sat
pretty
down
location.
and just sat and chilled out and didn't do anything. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Spent
Alberto.
spent the whole time just relaxing. The kids played in the pool till they were exhausted. That was really good. Friday afternoon, they were having Art City Days in Springville. And so it's kind of like the whole town was having a big festival, kind of doing stuff. So there was tons of events all over town. In the old downtown, they had a little carnival going on with rides and stuff. So we went and did that with the kids. Got to do some rides and hang out and see that. Tried to teach Augie the ways of not to fall into the carny's trap.
Oh yeah.
Augie is,
boy.
let's just say that boy was a child of Fortuna.
Oh, boy.
And we all know fortune favors the bold.
He's
and
bold.
he is he's looking at these going, games of chance are going to be my thing for this next year or two. So had to keep him away from a lot of that because he was like, I want to throw this, I want to get that, I want to catch this.
Never take
It's
that
like-
kid to Vegas.
Yeah, so let them do they got some rides, they got to play on some stuff. We went back to the house and just chilled out. There's a place called Legends Motorcycle Museum in Springville.
Interesting.
Very nice.
You would have loved this, Anthony.
Yeah.
So this is a museum of all different types of motorcycles built. On top of that, they have a restaurant called the Slap Tank Cafe.
Oh,
that's cool.
They
Tank
have
Slap?
I think it's something like that.
Tank
Tank
slap.
slapper.
Tank Slap, maybe.
Slap.
Tank Slap Cafe or Tank Slap Restaurant, and then they have a cafe called the Sidecar Cafe.
Now I'm curious, how
Sidecar
large is
Cafe.
this cafe? Because the one we saw at
Sounds
Triumph
very
in
fancy.
Scotland was like
It's
a little
bigger
hole
than
in the
that.
wall.
Bigger than that. So I had breakfast. Went and got breakfast at the Sidecar Cafe Friday morning.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Ordered it. Went, picked it up, walked
Is
around.
there motorcycles all over the place?
Motorcycles all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking at stuff, taking a look. They were also having the Bell Bash was there. So they were going to be doing some stunt riding and some other stuff there. Tons of bronze sculptures of dudes on motorcycles doing tricks.
Okay.
That artist made. Really cool place.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken pictures. I didn't take any pictures, but if you guys want to check it out, it's Legends Motorcycle Museum in Springville, Utah. You can check it out on Facebook.
Would
You
my
can see
motorcycle
all
have
their
fit, which
stuff.
one would have fit the most in with this museum?
Probably the Beamer.
Both of them. Your
Both of them?
BMW and your Triumph would have fit in very
Wow.
well in that museum. And I think you should probably offer them to the museum when you're ready to
You wanna
sell them.
Sell them?
When you're ready to get rid of them.
Okay.
Take the credit.
Wow.
Little
okay.
tax credit. But did that. Literally just spent our weekend by the pool.
That sounds
Did
nice.
nothing.
In and
There
out.
are
In
worse
and out.
weekends.
Didn't do anything. Sunday we drove home. We stopped off at IKEA. Augie and I were walking around looking at stuff. Carly was looking at stuff. We were thinking like, what should we buy? They've got Sonos speakers now, $100.
No way.
IKEA edition Sonos speakers.
You should have bought them.
I wanted to buy one.
I
and
would've
Carly
bought
was like,
one. You
Carly's
should've
like,
asked me.
Carly's like, no.
I need one for the garage.
It's
I have one in
literally
my
in a-
garage and one in my
it's
bedroom. And let
literally
me tell you,
an
it's
IKEA.
awesome.
It's an IKEA edition Sonos, and it's this tall, like or this skinny, and like that tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's shaped
Little
like
rectangle.
mine's shaped like a little gumdrop almost.
This is a rectangle.
So yours is the bigger
Then
one,
they
the
made.
rectangle.
Then they also have lamps
Yeah.
with a Sonos speaker inside.
So, are you guys really think that these Sonos speakers are the next generation, Dane?
I mean, they've been out, but
They're pretty
it's
nice.
Still, they're very.
But
nice.
I saw it, and I was trying to talk Carly. I was like, "Oh my gosh, Carly, we should buy one of these."
Yeah.
She's like, "It's $100."
So here's what makes those different. In case you're wondering, they don't operate off of Bluetooth the way other like wireless speakers do. They operate off of Wi-Fi. So that way you can still use your Bluetooth stuff separately, and you can have your Wi-Fi playing, and it won't be interrupted if you say use a different music app or something
So
like that.
I like that because that way when I'm watching like a movie or a video on my phone in, like
Doesn't play
in
it, keep
another
it.
room,
but
it
you can
doesn't
also
turn
play
on.
that movie's audio through
The
the
other room.
speaker.
Yeah,
You
right.
know.
Especially when you got a
So,
bunch of family
you got
over.
options.
Yeah,
You're going
I'm
to the
like,
bathroom.
where's the sound in this
No, the
video?
Sonos
It's
app
out
is the
there.
shit.
It's not good.
So G. Davis over under on Augie stabbing a couch at IKEA. That actually almost happened.
Oh no!
He started jumping on some couches. Let's just say if he would have noticed that there was cutlery across the way from him, he could have grabbed one of those and then jumped on the couch. But he literally climbed on some couches and tried to climb up onto the second level of couches. And I was like, "Get off!" And he's like, "What?" It's like, "Get off!" So finally, he hopped back down. Now we make it down to the children's department, right? What do I buy? I buy him the roll of paper with the roller, so you pull the roll of drawing paper out so they can draw.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I think this is going to be a great thing for the summer. They'll be able to, because they're always asking for, they pull our computer paper out. They're always,
use
I'm buying
the
them
roll. That's
sketchbooks.
great.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is going to be awesome. And I show them how to use it and stuff. They're very excited.
Good.
Augie turns the corner,
Uh-oh.
goes, oh my gosh, I want that. It's $25.
Are these the large?
No, this is a Wheel of Fortune.
Oh wow.
A wheel of fortune.
Literally sits there. You spin the wheel. It's got the clicker. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Wow, he really is turning into
1
a
through
gambler.
25.
What is going on?
He goes, I need this. I go,
Oh,
what do you need
no.
that for? He goes, well, I could put like I could make a list of movies that we could watch, and then we could spin this, and that would be the movie we watch for movie night. This
Honestly,
could be,
that's a fun
I could build
idea.
prizes on this, and this could be like you spin the wheel for certain things. I go, we could do that with your food, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he's like, no. And I was like, we could try
Wow.
these things like you want. Anyway, he sold Carly and I on it in
Wow.
the sense that he also
That's
said,
a clever idea.
not only is it $25, but I have $30 on me today.
Wow.
And I said,
Wow.
okay, you have $30 on you. And he's like, well, it's in my bag in the car.
But I'm good for it.
But I'm good for it if you buy it for me. And I said, all right, well, all right, let's grab it then. And he walked around holding that thing in the store the whole day, carrying it around.
Super proud.
Wow.
That place is like, to the right eyes, that place is a playground.
Oh,
is,
it's perfect.
yeah. I think
we
it's
had
a
a blast.
playground.
So then we left, drove home, made it home about 7 o'clock last night, walked in the door. First thing I had to do was I had to wash the car. So we unpacked everything, unpacked our bags, and then I told Carly, I got to wash the car because Sunday morning, the Camry was parked in such a way, my brother-in-law's sprinklers hit the whole side of the car.
I need some FSC
Whole
before those
passenger
bake in.
side, and I was like, oh no. And I was stuck there without anything. And I thought, screw it. I'll just clean it when I get home. We're going to be going home today. I'll just work on it then. So last night was able to get the whole car washed, wiped down. Everything's fine. The water spots actually didn't even stick. I washed it off, and they came off.
Filtered water where he's at?
So they use a lot of soft. They have a lot of soft water, but these are sprinklers, so I don't think it's sprinklers
you wouldn't
are
expect
on
it.
So they're probably
Mineral
on
content
groundwater.
may not be as bad.
It might not be so bad. I just know that their house water, they have lots of water softeners in it because of that.
Okay.
Because it is very hard water in Utah.
Was
a lot
it
of houses
as
are
hot
on
down there as it was up
Yes.
here? Okay. So it was more or less the same.
Yeah. So, but it was in the morning when I saw it, and they were already dry by the morning.
They didn't get a chance to.
So I don't. Yeah, I think once they were dried, they were fine. But anyway, point was, I was happy they came off, and so I was able to get it back home. I washed it. I clayed it last night because I do need to polish and coat the car still. But I felt some roughness on it, like it got caught with some paint overspray or something. But
thank you.
you haven't lived until you've enjoyed a meatball while being chased by a larger German woman at IKEA. Yeah. Umberto, my brother-in-law had O&R available, but he spilled it all and hadn't bought any new stuff. So, but I do sell him products here and there. So, but yeah. So anyway, made it home, chilled out for the evening. I started watching Clarkson's farm, Jeremy's farm.
Oh, I heard that's actually
3 episodes
good.
in. It's actually really good. It's fun because you get to see him struggle at a lot of stuff that he's not well versed in at all.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the first episode, he buys a tractor and he goes tractor shopping, and there's all these little tractors. And the guy even restores some tractors, and he's like, "Oh, this one's got 45 horsepower. This one's got 65." And he's like, "Really?" And they're all old. And he's like, so he goes and buys a Lamborghini R8 tractor, and everyone's like, "It's too big." Everybody's like, "It's too big." And so he proves to them that it's not too big, and he starts using it around. But even like the kid that he hires to work the fields and stuff shows up, and he's like, "That's too big. Like, it's a nice tractor, but it's too big." And that kid is great. Him and his dad are hilarious on it. The kid's really good because he basically
Very forward, yeah.
he's very forward in everything he tells Jeremy to do.
I was just say Clarkson needs that.
And it's funny because he's like 21 years old, and he's the only kid that can literally tell Jeremy, like, this is what's up. Like, and so that's been funny to watch. Like, it's just a good series. I've been enjoying
he hasn't gotten
it.
punched in the face yet. Interesting.
No, but it's good. So far you get to see a lot of the stuff, and then you just get to see like the normal, all the stuff that he's had to deal with this place. So, but a gorgeous property, 1,000 acres.
I gotta watch that.
That's what he has.
Fun.
Jeez.
It's beautiful. So
Crazy.
So that was it.
But that was it. That was simple, easy weekend. It was nice to just, when I say I literally did nothing, I literally did nothing.
Sometimes you need that though.
I felt like I needed it because we got the next couple weeks are getting pretty busy,
Yes.
and I needed to just sit and not do nothing.
Yeah.
So, Anthony.
Oh man, so I think Friday night after we left here, I was excited because I wanted to go home and I wanted to get remember I explained I did like that crazy kind of wheel, not restoration, but I basically cleaned up this set of wheels that I had to the best of my abilities. And so I had done that the weekend prior, and I got them all cleaned up and they were looking really good. I had one of the wheels refinished over at Hubcap Annie's, and they finished it out and did just the lip around it. They airbrushed it. They fixed it, the rash that was on it. And they did a killer job, and so I wanted to get them on the car. So I was looking forward to that. Basically, I got home, went straight into jacking up the car. I thought, well, it's on the Evo, by the way. And so I'm like, well, I haven't cleaned the fender wells in literally like years. So I think I'm going to go through. Well, spotless, basically spotless, but I steam cleaned them. And on the bottom of the struts, I used some tar and glue remover to remove old tar, cleaned them up beautifully. They looked fantastic. But went through, did that. My friend Zeke came over while I was doing all this and just kind of wanted to be a fly on the wall. He's like, I just want to come
hang out,
watch you work on your car. I said, that's cool. So he did that, brought over he has a Corrado is what he has, with a mint 230,000 miles on it. And the car, it's how do I say this?
I love the look of those Corrados.
G60 or VR6?
It's a VR6.
Okay.
And so the car is falling apart.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's
a Volkswagen.
It's loose. It's loose. It's
It's
not
an early 90s Volkswagen.
It's not like a tight feeling car. He's got one of those small aftermarket steering wheels on it, like the baby child.
Oh, right.
He's a
racing
big guy
wheels.
too. He's a big guy, so
And
that probably looks hilarious.
And so it feels like hilarious when you're in it. And he's had me go drive it, right? But the transmission on this feels great. It's nice and notchy. It feels good.
I bet it sounds awesome.
It has a pop on every upshift.
Nice.
A brrrr, pop. Brrrr, it makes like sounds like
Nice.
a Wookiee or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Yeah, it's the Wookiee growl.
Yeah, and but it sounds really cool. And but yeah, it's just it's in rough shape, but he loves it. He's like, I have
That's
plans.
his project car.
He's like, I have plans for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Z, you literally went from an Audi S5 to this.
Well, he's got his
And-
Raptor.
Yeah. Never mind the fact he
He
also has a Raptor.
has his Raptor. So this
He
is
has-
more of just a project. Fun
Yeah, but he
mess
loves
around
the
car.
Corrado.
He'll
really
be
does.
just fine.
So, but he hung out. He was just a fly on the wall. And we did that, man, until probably, he was over until close to 10 o'clock at night. And I pretty much finished everything out that night that I wanted to do. And then I washed the car, did an O&R wash. And just the beauty of O&R, man, is O&R, nothing but pure O&R washes for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Not one swirl.
Yeah.
No.
Not one mar.
On OptiCoat Pro Plus.
On OptiCoat Pro Plus, not one single imperfection. Can you
Say
believe
whatever
that?
you want,
It's impressive.
But that
It
is
is
Can you
impressive.
believe that?
No, it's real deal stuff. That's the thing. And Mike C asked a question. Will you guys ever carry Hyperseal? The synergy with O&R is perfect long term.
Oh, there's
correct.
a story there.
But here's the deal: Hyperseal is designed only to be sold either by Optimum themselves on their website or through OptiCoat approved installers.
The full OptiCoat
That's the
maintenance
only way you
line-
can get Hyperseal. Literally the only way.
The
That's what
OptiCoat
makes it so
maintenance
good.
line is not available to retailers such as us.
Yeah. So,
Hyperseal is a fantastic product.
but
It really is.
you used Hyperseal on your. You've used Hyperseal.
Oh,
on
I
your
love
Evo.
Hyperseal. I think
Yeah.
Hyperseal
There
is
was
one
a-
of, I
there was
think,
a
I
long
think it's one of the
while.
best products that nobody can try.
There was a long
exactly.
while where we really wanted to bring that on, and
Speaking
it
of, I might
simply
order
would not
myself
let
a
us.
bottle today.
No,
just
it
for
really is.
fun.
It's one of the best products that nobody can apparently
Yeah.
buy. So it's a really good product.
Make of that what you will.
But anyway, just crazy, man. Because I was doing the wash, and there's been all this talk lately with the whole N914 rinselesses, different.
I got to
different
bring that
things.
gallon to you tomorrow.
And
play around with it.
what was just funny is that I get done with my O&R wash, and this time the car had so much. It was a combination of had bug guts on the front because I've been running it dirty the last few days, and I would just in an evening drive, and then I would go and hit a bunch of stuff, and then just park it. Normally, I wipe everything down, but I'm gonna wash it in a day or two.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. So the front end had bug guts all over it. It was dusty. It had the garage dust, the really bad garage dust, and the lowers were just dirty from I don't know. I went through a couple construction areas the other day, and so just crazy though. Not one mar, not one swirl. I went through the whole thing, and I said I've been doing this method for 4 years.
Yeah.
And nobody would believe me that there is not one single swirl or one single mar unless they saw it in person.
Every one of those haters.
And I showed Jason last week when we were working on his Z06. He couldn't. He's like, I don't get it. How would you do this?
How does this car stay
it's
so clean?
because of the wash method I do. It's because of the product I use. Obviously O&R, and it's because this car really never gets that dirty. And if it were to get that dirty, I would rinse it off and then bring it back in, right?
Yeah.
The few times it has gotten really dirty.
Right. But you also got to remember, there are tons of people that have vehicles very similar to the Evo in the sense that it's a garage clean. It stays inside. They take it out to drive it every once in a while for a couple hours, every, couple weeks. But
And then
For the
they
most
pull
part-
that California duster out of their trunk and they
that's
go,
the
time
difference.
for the show.
That's the difference. Those other folks pull out that California duster and wipe it off in the garage. They aren't using just O&R. Like we've always said, to wash your car with O&R.
Cue
if
the
it's
angry mob screaming about paraffin waxing. It actually is
safer
fine.
and softer.
Okay.
It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah. Anyway,
use the duster.
So, but yeah, just very interesting. It is very interesting, and so, and I thought to myself, you know what? I've been giving people a lot of crap lately for this whole rinseless wash conversation, and for the longest time, as the rag company, we're always preaching: find what works for you, find what you like, and use it, right? And so, and it's so true as long as you're using O&R.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Dane? Is that how that works?
Well, I was going to say, it's true as long as you just don't use it car duster.
I'm just, yeah. No. As long as
That's
you
something
hey, you know
I
what,
just will not
honestly,
abide.
I don't care what rinseless product you use. I don't even care if
you can
if
use
you
it,
take
but don't
a quick
expect-
detailer and dilute it so much to the point where it's a
Yeah.
rinseless wash. I don't care. I guess just find what works for you. But I think I guess the thing that I'm bothered by is when somebody says this is better than this.
It's the team.
It's
And I
like,
said,
it's like
why
they
is
turn
it
it
better
into
than
the
this?
tribal. This has to win.
I said,
It is
I'm like,
better. It's
like, you can't make that statement. You
Okay.
can't make that statement in my circle or in our circle because we want proof or we want a reasoning why. And you have to really go through
Right.
the testing that we go through to make that kind of claim.
Yeah.
You can't just say that unless you really are just that person
Yeah.
that just wants to say it.
Take
and
your
then,
black
then
minivan.
have at it.
Wash the dirty wheels after a trip to Utah with a dirty towel.
Yeah.
Then put it in that bucket of O&R, let it soak in that bucket for a week, and then drive that car like normal, and then wash that car using that dirty wheel towel with O&R on a black van, and tell me it doesn't scratch.
Yeah. No, that's literally.
Or tell me it's going to scratch, because it's not going to.
It's not going to, and that's what I think. That's the testing that I think nobody will go to, and nobody would do that, right? But it's a testing that you have done.
Yeah.
We've all done.
Take your
broadside black minivan.
Take your big
You
red
did that.
sponge, take your UBS, go throw them in that gravel dirt parking lot across the street. Mm-hmm. Get them wet, throw them around in there, take them back while they're covered in dirt and rocks. Put them in your bucket of O&R.
Yeah. So, but and the other thing,
Rinse them out in the
well,
O&R, then pull it out, and then wash your car with
well,
that.
and then the other thing I want people to think about. Just think about this, right? Let's say you do that test, but you have one bucket of rinseless A and which is whatever rinseless you're using, and one bucket of rinseless B. If you had to use one of those buckets, right, with like your method you just said, you go through them in the rocks. If you had to trust a blind trust test, right?
O&R all day long.
I know.
Yeah.
And most people are going to pick O&R versus another
Right.
one because they know it's been working. They know it's never caused an
Yeah.
issue. But it's those people that are like, if it didn't have that blind test,
Like
I'll pick that over
N914
that.
might be able to do it,
It might.
but I don't have enough faith because I don't have enough
Yeah. What do you have the
real
most
world
faith in?
experiences with that.
If you have more faith in something, then just use the dang thing that you have the most faith in. Like the reason why we won't be able to convert people to a rinseless from a 2-bucket wash because they don't have any faith in it.
Correct.
And if
Same
they don't
thing,
have any
yeah.
faith in it, that's fine. Then there's no point in me explaining this to you. And you have to build that faith. But I'm saying, people have done the testing for the last 15 years.
16, 17, 18 years.
However many years of O&R, and they have so much faith in it that they know it's good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'll leave it at that.
All that is to say, that's fine if somebody finds something that they like and it works for them. More power to you, absolutely. But when it comes to this is actually the best, and here are my technical reasons why, it's like, okay, but can we prove that in the real world, or is that just what you read on a brochure?
Well, then
or
also
something?
you have to remember the big thing too is it's more than just a couple key points. There's so much more that goes deep into that we have to do in our position to test these things, right? And to really believe into something. But at a surface level, people will go off of just a general user experience.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
like I've said to
and there's
people,
just a lot more to it than that.
there are rinseless washes that we like for their reasons.
Yeah.
I love American Detailer Garage Fusion wash. I think it's amazing. I think it's a really, really strong, heavy cleaning rinseless wash, and it's perfect for wheels. It's perfect for washing bugs and getting stuff off. It's great, but it's also a cleaning. It's designed to clean. It's designed to be like a strip wash kind of. It's designed to clean.
By contrast, Anthony, I know you really like Wolfgang Uber.
Yeah, I like Uber a lot.
But that's more of a very slick, very shiny, very glossy. It's got a reason for what it's there for.
I like Uber just for it's very versatile on an exterior.
Correct.
Very while O&R is versatile, I think Uber has that little extra punch to it that kind of, I don't know. For a quick detailer, using it as a quick detailer, it's amazing.
Yeah,
but inside a car, I would be using O&R before I used anything else.
Like Dane, you could detail that whole car of Liz's with just O&R.
You really could.
You could just use O&R and do
then
the
some
whole
sort
thing.
of protective product afterwards.
Yeah, but you could use
that would
O&R to clean that entire interior. You could spray it on those seats. You could scrub them. You could wipe them down with a towel. You could do all that stuff. You could clean all the door panels, dash, center console, everything, all the windows inside and out. You could spray it and scrub the carpets and vacuum them and get them all clean. You could do all that with O&R.
Oh, David.
Levi Gates, can I message you on a rinseless shootout I plan on?
David,
of course,
I
man.
see you want to message Levi and not me.
Go ahead, man.
That's fine.
I'm the one hosting this rinseless shootout. I'm the one that everybody's been hearing my voice talking about all the anger and frustration.
So you don't need to ask permission. Just
go
do
ahead.
it. Like,
actually, if you want,
no,
maybe.
don't message me, David.
Anthony.
No, I wasn't his first pick. I don't even want to get messaged by him. No, go message Levi.
I want to stress to people who are watching. I mean, granted, the people who are watching are probably bigger fans of us than maybe some others who are more casual viewers. But the reality is, like, when it comes down to this stuff, we're talking about this in such a way because we know we've done the homework. We've actually seen real world, examples of this over and over and over for well over a decade now in your case. And I mean, it's just a known quantity. Now, granted, there's new stuff that's getting better all the time. Not going to falter. Like the new formula of O&R is awesome too, as many people have pointed out. But when people turn into this tribal thing of like, oh, they're just copying what the other guys did now, it's like, yeah, good business would mean you're going to take what you did before and improve on it to match up against the specs of what's popular now.
And to go that it's been available for 16, 17 years without an update because it hasn't needed it. And it's only now when the competition's finally getting to figure out where what it can do. Yeah. I mean, that's impressive. So,
but when it comes down to it, we push for this stuff and yes, we sell this stuff. But a big part of it is we don't want to sell stuff that's going to come back and bite us in the ass, frankly. Like, I don't want to deal with selling a product that's going to be garbage and somebody comes back and says, that was total trash. You guys are terrible. You just sold me garbage. It's like, so don't do that in the first place. So we don't do that in the first place. We really do go out of our way to vet the stuff and make sure it stands up to our standards. Yeah. Now, maybe your standards are different, in which case, okay, great. All we're trying to do is set the standard that works for us and say, if you think you like what we do, then it'll work for you if you're doing something similar.
Amen, Dane.
So
that's it.
So after that,
so after that,
so I got the wheels back on the car, the not new wheels, but my old wheels.
Yeah, it's
funny because it's basically it's everything's coming full circle. The old school look, the old school OEM look is back in on the cars. People want to see the OEM wheels on the car because it actually increases this look of the perception of value is increased because it's
the bring a trailer effect.
So it's the bring a trailer effect. It's exactly what it is. And so it's just an in look right now. So I threw on these wheels. I refinished. I mean, not refinished, but I did everything I could to make them look better. They still have the chip. They still have some chips in it. They still have marks from the wheel weights. They put outside rim or outside ring wheel weights on these BBS wheels from the factory.
Or the back?
On both.
Wow. Normally, like,
they put,
my friends at Les Schwab put them on the back.
All four, from stock, OEM. It came from the factory with wheel weights on it.
On the front.
Yeah. Wow. Why would you do that on a wheel so pretty and you put a wheel weight on it? So on every single wheel in the history of them, whenever they go to take them off, because this is also 15 years ago, people were taking this off. Nobody thought to use heat guns.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, just take it down to the tire shop. They'll pry that thing off, right? Or they'll torch
Get
it.
the old pry bar.
It always pulled off the paint. So everywhere that there was a wheel weight on the four wheels I had, there's a mark there. Ugh. Nothing I could do about
Gouges.
it. It just sucks. So, but I threw them on the car. They're on snow tires right now. But I figured I just wanted to scratch my itch, see them on the car, and they're on studless snow tires.
Okay,
so
there's no
it's
studs.
fine. So you can run them. It's not going to hurt anything.
It's a temperature.
And those tires are the Bridgestone LM22s. 13 years old.
Yeah.
13 years ago, those tires were first released. But what's hilarious, I don't have any dry rot on those tires.
How's the dry rot situation?
No, there's nothing.
You're sure?
Dane, you would look at these tires and go like, oh, wow, those look great. I don't understand how that works. I would like to talk to somebody more about.
I think it's because they haven't been outside.
How are they stored?
I think it's the UV.
They've been stored inside their entire life.
Okay,
always
so they haven't
garage.
been like in an outdoor.
No, always in a garage for their entire life, covered in blankets. So I'm assuming that's it. Okay. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I would like for somebody to explain to me maybe our friend Jeff from Nexon Tire can chime in and say,
could you trust them on
snow tires last this long for this reason?
Mountain winter drive. Could you trust them on Bogus Basin at speed?
They're 13 years old. I'm not going to keep those tires.
Yeah. No.
I just want to run them until they're dead. And
it's purely for just being able to roll it around.
Yeah, it's literally that's it. That's the only reason. So
makes sense.
Did that Saturday morning, woke up, went for a cruise in it, freshly clean car. I thought I'm going to go take this around the block, right? Go cruise around, went through the village, made a pass through there, right? Get all the ladies in Meridian looking over at
you
me.
have to do
they didn't
the
because
cruise
Dane was cruising in the GT.
That's exactly what it was. So I knew that wasn't going to happen.
It's got GT in the name. You have to.
Yeah, well, you're a GT kind of guy.
I'm grand touring through the
That's
village.
what you're all about.
Yeah.
From village to village.
No, and then so Saturday I was hoping to work on my project car, right? That was kind of my goal. Ended up trying to go to the youth ranch. Didn't want to wait in line at the youth ranch.
What were you going to buy at the youth ranch?
Sell, like getting rid of things.
Oh,
I had a
okay.
truck, I had a Dodge
Yeah.
Ram 1500 full of things I have to get rid of,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Didn't want to wait in the line. So I kind of just did some running around.
So you just hit a dumpster nearby? Or?
No, I
I said St. Vincent's is right there.
I know. I saved it. Trust me. I'll get back to this. Hold on.
Okay.
Took my parents to the airport. My parents, went on a trip for a day, so I dropped them off. Basically, I was doing so much things and running around. I didn't have any time to work on my project car.
Oh.
And by the time I finally got home, I was like, okay, I could do something. It was in like the heat of the day.
Yeah.
And I thought, I have to detail this interior, and it's going to be steamy.
Yeah.
And
It was 97 degrees last
pulling-
I have an
night.
idea.
30.
Add more
and
heat.
I'm pulling out the extractor, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I want to do this right now. It's one of those, it sounds like the worst thing I could possibly do. So then Saturday night, we ended up actually going over to my friend Andy and Alex's house and just going over there. They have a new fire pit they built out, and we're getting to that age now to where when your friends say, hey, come check out my addition in the backyard. Come check out my thing. So
Howard got a new grill. Come and check it out.
honestly, that's what it feels like, right?
Oh,
They're
man.
like,
And
come
you and
check
your
out
golden retrievers
the garage gym situation. We have a couple new pieces inside there. So
Oh.
we went over there to go check it out and just kind of hung out for a couple hours. And then one of my friends was came from out of town too, over the house, and he asked me and my friend Andy if we want to go hit some balls over at the golf course, right?
Okay.
All of my friends, not all of my friends, a handful of my close friends are going through this weird golf obsession.
Right.
I think sports suck.
Yeah.
I hate sports.
But
They're
like,
just pointless.
golf
Why are you
in
why
particular,
are you
if
going
you're-
out on a hot
Well, our
day
very own friend
and
next day
kicking
Nate-
around
next
balls
day Nate
and
is
hitting
like-
I was going to
balls?
say, I'm
that.
sure Nate will weigh in and
What
say
is
how
the
great
point?
it is.
Are you playing professionally? No. People are like, but I think it's fun. There's a lot of other things that are fun,
Yeah.
right?
Hitting metal with
Have
a
you
hammer.
ever owned a Honda Civic? It's a blast.
Yeah, it's
right?
super fun.
There's a lot of other fun things outside of sports, but my friends are all about playing golf. They love going down to the country
they're
club.
golf-
There's an
golfing
element
fiends.
of just some people, they don't care about the game of golf itself. They care more about the environment and the being with friends and having drinks on the links, as they say, and just like being out there and enjoying
But why
the
would
course.
you do that out in the sun?
Like, I can
on
think of
grass.
ways I'd prefer to do that?
Why don't you
'Cause
sit in the shade
I get it,
in
it's
like
not
a
my bad,
canopy?
That's what I
Yeah.
did all weekend, was sit
But
in the
there's
shade
definitely
under a
people
canopy
who-
with my sun hat on.
I don't
like it
know,
for
man.
reasons
I don't
other
chill
than
it
the
out.
actual game itself.
I don't get golf. I think golf is dumb. I've played in a golf tournament, right? And people are like, you need to play in a golf tournament. You need to do this, right? I flipped the golf cart.
I was just saying, you're
and
Happy Gilmore.
I lost a shoe in the sand pit, right? Not fun. Not fun.
You swing so hard, the thing just flew up, and people are
No,
like, oh
it
my
was
God,
the
he's
worst
dead.
time I ever had in my life. I'll never golf again, right? So I don't know. I'm just not a sports guy, honestly. And so they wanted to go hit balls.
Yeah.
I said, do you guys have a left-handed club? No, we don't have a left-handed club. Well, you can hit right-handed. So we went to the shooting range. What do we call it? Shooting range? Driving
Yeah.
range?
Driving range.
They hit some balls out
Shooting
there.
range is where you bring your gun.
And they were like,
You're like,
Anthony,
you
they're
hit the
like,
balls, I'll shoot them.
Well, it's funny
Yeah.
because they were like, don't you like hitting driving range balls? I'm like, I don't like it, but
I'm
like,
doing it because I have to right now to hang out with you guys.
yeah.
Sorry.
And so then
Unless it's a top golf.
so what I did instead, I went and sat on the putting green,
Oh.
right? Listen to some music,
Okay.
punk rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you, 13 over there? I'm like, yeah, this is stupid.
Let's be honest,
wanna
mentally,
leave.
he never left.
I want to leave. This is dumb. Let's go back to the house. Let's go back to the girls. And so, but we did that for, I don't know, a couple hours. That was it.
Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, I can't remember what the heck I did. Sunday morning, I went to the youth ranch first thing in the
Yeah.
morning, right? Beat the crowd.
Good.
Was able to donate those things and feel
Got
fantastic
your tax
about it.
receipt.
Yep.
Nice.
Got my receipt to write off some things, right? Hopefully help my tax
Take the
return dollars.
max. Take the max.
Take the max. Oh, absolutely. There was lots of good
Yeah.
things back there. Lots of cups.
Nice.
And so after that, went back to the house. It was so hot outside at that point. Like 11 a.m., man. Like that sun was pretty intense.
It was
at
already
that point.
91 by like 11:30.
Yeah, it was already there. And so I got home. I looked at my project car again. Thought I probably should get in on this. I have like 3 hours to do this before I have to leave for a movie. Sounded horrible. Yeah. I didn't want to do any of that. So I just went back inside the house. Dane, you have to understand, it's a whole process for me. I got to start up the steamer. I'm going to start up all these things. I have to think about, okay, I have to pull up the seats because that's one of those cars where I'm going to pull up the seats and do all sorts of stuff.
You could be doing this in your garage, though. You don't have to do it out in the driveway.
I need an air conditioning unit inside there, Dane.
His garage isn't like the MOS HQ.
It's not like the MOS HQ. And if I left the door open from the house to the garage, Katie's going to get pissed at me because our AC bill is going to... Yeah, I'm making noise, too. Not going to be a good day. So I didn't want to mess with it. Just moved on with my life. Went to see A Quiet Place 2. Yeah. My friends Andy and Alex again. Went and saw that. It was... all right. Okay.
I'm hearing
it left a lot on the table.
Like 99% Rotten Tomatoes, best movie of the year.
So it was good.
$100 million.
But the ending was just like, really? That's it? And so then you're just like, okay.
I tend to look more at the audience score than the critics on a lot of movies just to see where people
Anyways,
are really
well filmed. It was good. I think it was just as good as the first one, if not, the same.
I haven't seen either one. So
I'd say worth seeing. After that, though, went and got a fruit bowl, Boise Juice Co. With my friends. They had never had a fruit bowl there. Yeah. And I said, well, my friends.
What? They seem like fruit bowl people.
They are absolutely fruit bowl people,
they
right?
Totally seem like, how could they not ever
They're the people that cheers health, wealth, and happiness.
Right. Seriously, having met them, I'm like, oh, you two definitely.
At the chair. And my friend Andy said, well, are these dark chocolate chips inside here? Because I'm obviously on a diet before my wedding.
See, that kind of talk right there, that's a fruit bowl
he was
talking
worried
kind of
about
person.
the dark chocolate chips. That guy weighs like 100 pounds.
Yeah, no.
He weighs 170 right now.
What are you afraid of, Graham?
He's the skinniest person I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not sure, but he's obviously very health conscious. So, but we had a fruit bowl, and after that, me and Katie went back to the house, and she took off for a couple hours, go to another dinner type of thing, and that's where I had another opportunity to work on my project car, right?
Did you also avoid that one?
So what happened was I went outside and I thought to myself, I need to go pick up dog poop. I need to go do house stuff around the outside of the house, right?
The manly things.
Check out my bird nest that's growing above my door. I have some birds building a whole structural nest. It's it's very nice. It's very impressive. But dude, my allergies kicked in. Something happened. Oh, no. I don't know what it is. And I said, wow, I'm feeling really tired and really messed up. I'm going to go lay down on the couch. And I laid there. As my eyes are watering, I'm looking at my phone thinking, is this normal? So I think lately,
it's been kicking you hard.
I'm having an issue with allergies. I think I'm having what's known as adrenal fatigue, right? I think my caffeine tolerance is so high right now that I could drink a cup of coffee in the morning, does nothing for me.
How much sleep are you getting?
I'm getting like 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Wow.
So that's
I was going to say, if you were doing like 5 hours of sleep like me every night,
your
then I'd be
dogs
like,
don't wake you up.
No. Yeah. I think that my caffeine tolerance is absolutely through the roof right now. 100%. Yeah. It's like horrible. It's like the worst it's ever been. And I'm not even taking pre-workout. Honestly, this Pepsi sponsorship is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. It is.
It's been fine for me. I'm not drinking Rockstars and Bangs every day.
True.
Drinking Diet Pepsi.
We stopped the Bangs, right? The Rockstars are flowing pretty heavily through
They're
here,
a lot less
right?
than the Bangs.
Lot less.
I'd say between the Rockstars, the Sumo, the Mountain Dew, Major Melon, I would between the Pepsi Mango Zero Sugar.
The Pepsi Mangoes.
There's just a lot of things working against us. So I'm having some adrenal fatigue. I'm having some allergy stuff. I'm feeling very weak and tired lately. And
you may also be having some sympathy pains.
Yeah, so of my own sympathy.
He might be experiencing that transition to middle age.
I'm also 31 now, so I don't know what it is. But that was my weekend. It was a good weekend.
Impressive.
Nothing too crazy. No marmots.
Nice.
Nothing to report on in terms of that. Even though I hope that story still makes you laugh because
that was such.
I tell everybody that story, and they were like,
good.
"Well, that's kind of funny." And I said, "Kind of funny." I'm like, "Come on, should have been there."
You're like hilarious. Come on.
This wet O&R. So what's O&R again? And I said, literally nobody understands except for my detailing friends. Whatever.
It's niche crowd.
All right, Dane.
So this is the thing we can end with is answering Umberto's question about the Subaru. What's going on with it?
It's pretty much done. We just have a couple clips and pins and poppers and things like that need to go back in. It needs to go back up on the lift so we can put the skid plate back on.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty much done. Now, we probably got to go through and clean it one more time just on the inside just to get it looking sharp. And we do have to fix a couple spots.
In regards to the videos, there are several videos still to come. A lot of them you've seen now that we're getting kind of further into the build in the videos. Some of the stuff's going to happen not chronologically. It's going to be out of sequence. So you're going to see some stuff where some things were already on the card that you saw in a previous video, like with the coating and the polishing, where in this upcoming video, we're installing the coilovers. We're doing stuff like that, like the Fortunato stuff and the stereo install and some other things like that happened maybe before that, but because of the way the progression was happening, it didn't happen chronologically.
Yeah. So we will say last weekend when we took it to the car show, a lot of positive. People really liked it. People really liked seeing it. They thought it looked good.
You would think it's like an older car kind of crowd, but they actually really liked it.
It was surprising to see the number of people that came up and looked at it and really were impressed by it.
So still a lot to look forward to there. Yeah. It's just we're kind of on the tail end of it. And with our cheap project cars, it's fun to drive them around and goof off. But with this Subaru project car, it's it's so nice. We're not just taking it around and joyriding in it because, first of all, the miles are an important factor as to why it's valuable. And it's just too nice. Yeah. It's too nice, which is why when it does eventually go up for sale, be it an auction or something along those lines, it'll be interesting to see how people respond. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Okay, guys.
All right,
to wrap it up.
Wrap it up, man.
There we go.
Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, like I said at the top, I'm going to say it again, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If it says subscribe and a red button, you got to click it, and then it'll say subscribe. You give it the D, you're done. Then, moving on, click that like button because that lets other people know this was worth watching. Now, to wrap it all up, I want you to go over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, even if you don't have that login or whatever, go and leave a review.
And we have seen the reviews that have been left. We appreciate you boys for leaving those.
Really appreciate
Dane will be reading those Thursday's Q&A. I will. Off.
I will be leading off the Q&A Thursday with those reviews we have received, and I hope to see more between now and Thursday.
There you go.
So I encourage you all to go out there, write some funny messages. It can be goofy. It can be totally unrelated to the podcast. Just put something out there. Give it a 5-star review. Let's get this stuff rolling. Okay, that's it, guys. So until Thursday, catch you later.
See ya.